Today's episode of Campfire Passport Podcast is layered with technical difficulty. It's pretty much a technical difficulty fest. Although I'm assuming as an end user, you're probably not going to hear it because really Colin is going to do an amazing job of editing all of these things out. And the main thing was just that we had our good friend Aaron coming onto the podcast to talk to us about an upcoming camp trip, and he couldn't make it. He was here, but we couldn't hear him because someone apparently took the good headphones from his house. What that means, I don't know. You'll have to figure that out on your own and listen. Beyond that, we just talked about just some current event stuff. We talked about our rigs. We talked about our recent Wheelin' Weekend trip, which was a lot of fun. And hopefully we will have a YouTube video out to follow on. So keep an eye out on that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on that one, of course. I think that was pretty much it. Colin, do you have anything to go over?
Just per the standards, since this technically we could consider this a post-trip recap, I'll have some clips from the Wheelin' Weekend trip kind of synced into the YouTube version of the podcast. So if you're a solo listener only, feel free to go into the YouTube and check that out, because there'll be some, kind of preview video for the actual full-length video when those come out.
I think there's going to be one that's going to be really special. I'm really hoping that when I say, hey, you should put that clip of Tyson in here, a good clip of Tyson comes in there, and that is worth a YouTube click, hands down. That is going to be the best thing you watch this week.
Here's hoping.
So, all right, cool. Well, that being said, let's get into it.
Yeah.
To put the mouse away because I'll touch it and then it'll make the sound during the podcast. I also have to close any other tabs that I might look at, like work email or anything like that, because I find myself just kind of wandering off while everybody's talking, which is not good for a sound thing. I'm pretty sure. I think that the podcast doesn't sound good when you're not paying attention.
Well,
I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
I don't even have a computer in front of me, so I have no ability to look anything up, or I just have to believe you guys.
Well, good thing we're mostly right all the time.
That's right.
Oh, well,
very
that's right.
Mike,
trustworthy.
speaking of that, Mike was wrong about the about that Colorado.
Oh.
By the way, I went back. I
what was it wrong
back
about?
through, and I combed the last year's. You're thinking of the wrong year for the Ultimate Adventure, because there was only
Was
the
it a couple
one
years ago?
Colorado, and it was Ian's. Yeah. So since you recently watched the Onyx Challenge videos, I saw the clip that made you think it was last year's, because they put a clip from a previous year's, like not just last year's, in the Onyx Challenge videos, and that Colorado was in there, but that was not from last year. So
Last year? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was in there
Whoops.
at some point, but it blew up like front end pieces for a while. So
well, yeah, it was still. It was.
I know they didn't. I watched.
It was IFS still,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and it was like stock IFS, so it was like no hard feelings to them, because they were on like 35s or 37s, and they were running super hard trails with all stock equipment essentially, just lifts and tires and stuff, but steering was stock. They just didn't make stuff to really upgrade a lot of that.
Yeah.
But then they
Which
broke
still
all of
don't.
it, so.
Which is still weird, because they really talked up the fact this year, like on this past year's, about how Nate and that Forerunner guy were the first people with IFS on it, and so it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense, because there was somebody that had IFS. So I
Maybe
guess
the
I don't
first to
get it.
finish.
Well, I mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that guy was basically just there for the pavement, and then so they didn't count him.
Yeah. First on the trails. Yeah.
Yes.
It seems possible.
So, yeah, but yeah, there's my correction for you, Mike. It was mainly because I was like, how did I miss this Colorado? Because I mean, I kind of like those, so I'd like to remember which one he's talking about. And yeah, I could not find it. Fucking went through all the videos. It's like, nope, it's not there.
Yeah, I loved my Colorado. It was solid. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. Probably still is, but it was
No, it's not. I saw it the other day driving on the highway, and I know it's mine because it has those dumb aftermarket headlights and taillights that came with it that I wish didn't because they leaked water into the cab and did some other fun shit.
And they look terrible.
Also, they look dumb.
By the way,
Key.
But
Just throwing that out there.
if we all want to be pushing buttons, no, they were awful. But I saw it, and the guy had creased the entire bed length on the driver's side from like soup to nuts, just 6 inches in, and it varied all the way across, and then tore out one of the taillights, which is probably fine. And then
he didn't like him either.
impacted the tailgate that I broke, and they already had to replace. So the dealership replaced the tailgate that I broke when I was trying to pull a semi truck out of a snow ditch, and the soft shackle broke and put a bubble rope into the tailgate. But yeah, no, he's wrecked it hard, and it doesn't look like trail damage. It looks like somebody in there, in a parking lot, drug across a post. It was very solidly one line all the way across, and so not great still.
I do love that you tried to pull a semi truck out of a ditch.
I feel like
Colorado.
I feel like this wasn't a try. Didn't you get a semi truck out with? Maybe that's a different vehicle.
No, that was with Super
Another
Duty a long
semi-truck?
time ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Mike just likes
I
to pull
was thinking to
semi
myself,
trucks.
you know what's better than a Super Duty? A Colorado. So let's see if I can do it. No, it was just a trucker that was sleeping on the side of the road, and they burned him in. So it wasn't even that bad. He was chained up, and so I was like, "Oh yeah."
He
But
was still asleep.
Yeah, no, he wasn't there. Yeah,
Mike just hooked up to him and yanked him out.
he was in the.
Well, I don't want to wake him, so we're just gonna pull.
No, and I got him moved, but I didn't get him out. So
Well, okay.
the big issue, I think I could have got it, but the guy hooked the soft shackle to like a piece of flat bar on the front of his truck, on like I don't know, a deer bar, a bull bar, or whatever. And when he hooked it up there, it cut, and so it was like a clean cut right across on like the fourth pull.
Yeah, it
So,
wasn't.
they
It was a
early.
Colorado pulling a semi. It was that flat bar. Yeah.
You know what?
No, I got him to move. He got like 3 feet on a fully loaded semi truck. I felt all right. Still in a warranty. I was gonna try.
There you go. There you go.
Do everything under warranty is the
Yeah,
message here.
I had a 6-liter. That's why I had it. It's because it had a warranty, 100,000 miles. Never.
You did try to
Never
kill
let me
that
blow
thing
it up.
before the warranty. Yeah, you did try to kill it. That's the one.
I know. I sold it
6-liter
at
that didn't blow
99,000
up.
miles. I sold it at 99,000 miles, kind of, because when I took it into the Ford dealership to get my gauges replaced at one point, the Ford dealership gave it back to me with 10,000 less miles. So I
Only
had
the
to get the
dealership
whole-
has that kind of power.
I know.
Just
I had the whole cluster replaced.
a little fraud.
That's
Well,
Light
I
fraud.
traded it back into them,
That's-
so it's up to them.
that's more of a kickback than fraud. That's just
Oh, right.
like just a little bit.
A
That
mileage
was
rebate.
like,
A mileage rebate. That's right.
yeah.
That's good. Oh man.
I'm still
Well,
waiting for one on the Jeep. 327,000. Still waiting on that rebate.
I'm trying to
not
buy
quite.
a Jeep right now, but the guy is awful about responding. So we'll see what happens.
Cheap people are weird, man.
Because
I
that's
know.
what you need is another
Cheap people are
Jeep.
weird.
It's an $800 Cherokee that needs repaired, and I can probably turn around and sell.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
always like to
sounds
get
like
one
you.
fixed up before the winter.
Cheap XJs
Well,
all day
I've-
long.
My guess is you'll have it, and then you'll be like, oh, well, I might be able to get it ready for the dunes here. Only got 3 days. We should be able to get it ready.
Well,
I only have to leave in 12 hours. It's going to be fine. I'm going to throw some fuel stabilizer in it, change the oil, and send it.
Yeah. And then it's gonna be here just long enough that he's gonna be like, well, maybe I'll bring that for the Oahe trip instead of the Wrangler, and then
I'm not gonna change the oil. I'm gonna throw in some Lucas oil stabilizer.
Yep, there it is.
Just the entire Lucas catalog at this thing, and then you're in business.
I'm one of their best customers.
I know this.
I bet I could go find 3 bottles of 3 different Lucas things in my shelf right now.
Well, you're a classy guy. You don't buy cheap stuff, obviously. You're buying the good stuff when we're talking about snake oil. The best snake oil.
The best.
Here's the thing, right? It's proven to work on some things sometimes. And to me, that's enough.
Proven.
Experts say
60% of the time, it works 30% of the time.
It's the most recommended by dentists.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, but the 10th one was smacking a fly or something. The reason it matters, or the reason that I like using that stuff mostly, is that it's compatible with anything, according to them.
To the model.
So
says
I can
them,
pour it
yeah.
in whatever. I don't have to worry about a thing. I don't know what kind of oil's in my car. I haven't changed it
You
before.
can put it in your cereal. It's that good.
Yeah, it's cold soup.
Back to cold soup.
Cold soup stabilizer.
Yeah.
Stool stabilizer after that.
I think that's not stabilizing
I think
anything.
you're going quick. Yeah.
That's stool cleaner.
Lube that thing up. It's coming out.
Oh, man. Sorry, Colin. We're talking about poop already.
It's
might
our
be a
number one
record.
topic, man.
9
It's
minutes.
the number one topic.
Yeah.
Done.
We're back to poop.
If you're into shit and shit accessories, this is the podcast for you.
Well, we don't kink shame around here, so come on.
What's our dedicated listener and commenter? What's his name again?
Trevor.
Trevor. That one's for you,
That's a
Trevor.
good name.
Well, not to change the subject, but we do have a podcast to do at some point today.
Oh.
On this beautiful Friday night, by the way. We never do Friday night podcasts. It's pretty nice.
We're usually out at the club.
Oh, yeah. Big club guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big club guys.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell by us all sitting inside on this nice Friday night?
Not having anything else to
Sipping
do
our
on
light
Friday
beers.
night.
Yeah.
Talking about terrible car things and poop and
Poop. Mostly poop.
Mm-hmm.
and then poop also.
And occasionally, trails.
Man. What do you got, Mike? What are you trying to get out there?
No, nothing.
No, nothing?
I'm just kidding. I got plenty to say. So there are what? No.
The only things that I was going to go over, I was going to try to pester you guys to see if you had any current affairs, news, that kind of stuff. I don't really have anything that is news related. Expo Mountain, whatever, the Colorado Overland Expo is this weekend, and it looks like it rained already, which is kind of funny because we talked about Expo West and it rained immediately there. So looks like it's going to be about the same. I'm sure it's all the same crap, and the new Land Cruiser's there, which is cool. That's it.
The Lexus was at ours.
Yeah, I thought the Lexus was sweet. We talked about that at length. But yeah, otherwise, Colin just told me that he watched the Onyx build series. Shout out to Onyx and their terrible timing on the video stuff that may or may not come up in other podcasts. But did you watch? Because I saw that they're saying that the winner, or you can't vote anymore after today, which I'm assuming means that the next video that comes out in however long is the one. Nope. Mike says no.
Now. So I was watching this before I came
It's like
in. I
it's
didn't get a
on
chance
right
to
now.
see it. Yeah, so they dropped the last challenge video, and then 20 minutes later they started a YouTube live stream thing where the winner is getting picked as we're doing this podcast.
The
If somebody has the ability
finale.
to look, there's probably
It's going to be Bleepin' Jeep.
some way to see it. 100% Bleepin' Jeep.
Yeah,
I think that there's
they're gonna
almost no chance it's anybody else. Yeah.
What was
Yeah,
the
Rudy
wrote
one of my
many
favorite
things.
parts?
So do we
one of
get
my
to
favorite
announce
parts
the
is
winner?
they start scrolling, and we'll be announcing it like 4 weeks too late, but when they're talking about like, oh, you can go to vote, and you vote on the web page, and they scroll down and it shows like the live vote count, and it's like 40K, 40K, 16K, and Nate is down there in the 16K, like fucking 25,000 votes behind. Like he had no chance.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
The
surprised.
other guys just have way more viewers or what, but I don't know what the deal is there.
That might be it.
The thing that I think was going on was that Dave got brought in late, and the other guy was like a no-name YouTuber, and so each other team had both sides. So like, even though Matt and Colt are both Bleep and Jeep, they both have their own channels and they both have their own followers. And they will all come into the Bleep and Jeep YouTube channel. But like, you can watch Colt build a samurai, or you can watch what is it called? Some snake thing that Matt built. That's his Cherokee off-roader buggy thing. And so like, you can watch both of them. They all have their own fans and they come together. But Nate was the only one in the beginning who had any kind of followers on his team, and the other guy was like a guy who was applying to be a sheriff in Texas or something, and that's why he left, is he got a job.
Yeah.
But then they brought Dave in, and it was way too late. Nobody
Are you
wants
sure
to vote
it wasn't
for
just a
losers.
no cops rule?
Yeah, that was probably it.
Oh,
Everybody's like, this guy.
oh yeah.
But that seems to be the consensus on most of the other channels.
To back that up, the Bleep and Jeep YouTube channel has 540,000 subscribers to Nate Dirt Lifestyle. Nate's 300-ish. So they got quite a few.
So there you
What's
go,
the other
yeah.
person? What's his name?
It's Rudy, with Rudy's Off-Road Adventure Designs. But he started.
Rudy's Adventure and Design.
Yeah,
but he started with that.
244,000.
Well, but that girl that he
Mischief
started
Maker.
with, yeah, that Mischief Maker, yeah.
I didn't know who that was until this, and her getting hurt just recently. It was a big deal, and I had no idea who she was until then. She actually doesn't have as many followers though as him. She's at 91,500 on YouTube, whereas the Rudy's Adventure and Design guys got 244,000. So,
Well, you know what
Well,
they
she's
say,
almost
women
exclusively-
only 30% less viewers.
Oh gosh,
it's true.
there you go, Tyson.
Hot button issue.
She mostly makes cameos, so she doesn't do a lot on her own stuff. She's on Matt's Off-Road Recovery regularly. She's on the Flex
Yeah,
Rocks
that's-
and Rollovers regularly.
That's
She's
what
on,
I've
Matt's-
seen. That's where I originally saw her, was some like Matt's or something that like they were doing a Hammers run, like they did the trail at Hammers, and like she was just like one of the invited
She
people
lives out
'cause
in
she's
San
got
Hollow area.
and she's got like a big Jeep thing that she drives or whatever. So that's where I originally
The JK
saw
on
her.
tons and 40s.
Yeah, and then I
Two
can't watch
things.
the videos. They're so bad. Go.
I've never seen them, but two things. Sand Hollow and King of the Hammers, two different locations completely. But I get what you're talking about, because the Matt's Off-Road Recovery thing is like in that area, right? The Sand
why she
Hollow
goes out with him all the time.
Hurricane, which it's Hurricane. Come on, I know I don't live there, but it's Hurricane. Also, the second thing is, that's my new YouTube guilty pleasure. That guy's channel, I want to hate so badly,
Matt's
but I
Off-Road Recovery.
love it. I love it. I love that he's got the dogs all the time. He's got the stupidest rigs. I do love that the Wrecker though. That thing is badass. Like, that's undeniably awesome. The XJ is pretty cool. The Corvair thing I could really do without, but it's fun to watch him. And I don't know. It's pretty good.
The best part
pretty
is
impressive.
he does recoveries like I feel like we do. Like, you show up and you're looking at it and you got stuck recently and you're like, shit, I don't know, hook it up here, and then let's do that. And
He
then let's
seems
do
like
that.
a little bit more capable than we are as far as recovery goes. I'm not
way
saying
more experience. Yeah,
we have a good track record. We've not left anything out in the woods, really, for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
There was a couple things that have been, like Luke's Jeep got left at Cline once and we drove a trailer in to get it, but that wasn't our fault. That was the Jeep's fault.
Yeah.
Man, we haven't had Luke on a podcast for a while. We need Luke back.
Yeah.
I don't
He needs to defend
understand.
himself a little.
Yeah. Well,
Sean, you
yeah,
can
we
also
haven't started
watch
talking shit about him yet.
You could watch the like, what would you call it? Maybe the grocery outlet bargain market version of Matt's off-road recovery, and watch that Casey's off-road recovery guy, because he's local.
Yep.
He's
Oh,
out here.
the local guy.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what?
got that
no
Cherokee on
offense to
tracks
him.
and stuff like that. Which, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
red one?
he's bad at it. I'm just saying, like,
No,
he
he's
doesn't
just
have
not-
the equipment that Matt guy has.
No, I also don't think he's quite as charismatic. He puts a little bit long form together for no reason. And I've never met him in person, and I'm sure he's a cool guy because we have some mutual people that we all know that know him. And I bet he's super cool. But why is this video 40 minutes long? I'm looking for the 20-minute quick hit. I want to see 3 recoveries, 20 minutes, little drama. I want a thumbnail that says I almost wrecked the customer's 4Runner. That's what I need. I need the possess. I think.
You're really falling into the algorithm trap.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about production value, and we're going to lose the shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need to put in some drama. There's got to be a little drama in there.
I think what this other guy's missing is us. I think we need to all go on a recovery with him, and then it'll be 50 minutes long, and no one will ever get protected. Or
Yeah. There will be
brought
no
back.
recovery. Everybody
It
will
won't go well.
tune out at 15 minutes because we're going to start talking about poop pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
bound to happen.
whatever else will ensue.
It's going to be, we show up to air down. Guys, I have to poop.
Yeah. Oh, I brought my
Someone
bucket.
get the bucket.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Tyson, deploy your annex.
It's only 100 today. It's going to be totally fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's 120 in there, but 100 feels great after 120.
Oh my God.
I'm going to break your fingers so you don't remember your leg's broken.
Yeah. Let me take your mind off the pain. Hell
Uh,
yeah.
Well, yeah. YouTube is great.
it sure is. It's
Sure
weird
is.
now. The algorithm has changed, I think, or
I feel
thing. I got a bunch of different things that I've never had before, and it's okay. I like them. There's a lot of things that I was like, oh, I didn't know I wanted to watch this. So good job, internet, for figuring me out. But a lot of the stuff that I used to watch and a lot of the stuff I like to watch isn't showing up.
Well, you
Like
need
a
to.
lot of the-
Are you not subscribed to them? That's the way. So here's the
am.
way. Let's
No,
back up.
yeah.
This is the way
Yeah.
I use
Which,
YouTube.
remember, people,
I'm-
like and subscribe. If you
Like,
what you
comment,
listen
and
to.
subscribe.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
so
Trevor.
fiercely skeptical
Pray
that
for me.
I won't watch anything unless I already know about it for some reason. So all of the suggested things, I'm like, nope, get that out of here. I'm not subscribed to that. I don't care. So I go straight to my subscribed tab, and I only watch YouTube on my TV because I'm old and I don't want to watch it on my phone and try to
It is
do
Friday
this.
night, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would be
well-
doing. So
Well, I
I'm
use my phone to watch it on the TV though, because you just pull it up on there
Okay.
and then you send it to the
I don't
TV
do that
and you
'cause
can,
I use-
stack a queue and then yep, there we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I use my phone
Colin's
for
the youngest
other.
of us.
Yes, he really is. Actually,
Is he?
is
I don't
Colin
think I
younger
am.
than Mike?
Mike's younger than me,
How old are you?
36.
We're all.
I think
old.
Mike's younger.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
Mike's younger.
35.
Yeah, see, I'm 36.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
I have the
Wow.
oldest heart.
speaking of old, let's get Aaron on here. No, I'm just kidding. That's for later. That's for
a
later.
few minutes from
no,
now. Yeah.
Nobody tell him that. Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him that on the thing that we're recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I guess I just broke the secret. We're going to bring in our special guest, our very special guest, Aaron, to talk about an upcoming camp trip. But before that, the next thing that we're all going to talk about is a canceled camp trip because nobody could get their shit together and go on an awesome Browns camp weekend of wheeling, except for Steve. Shout out to Steve
ready.
for having his shit together.
Yeah.
Mike
ready.
was not ready. No, you weren't.
I was too. I was going to go out in this, and I was going to go down from there. I was just going to be late.
Oh yeah, you were. You
No,
were. I'm sorry.
Late
I
and
got
leave
the-
early. And
I got
then
the
More
weekends mixed
convenient
up.
to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
I-
we're gonna be
I
there
was
for
not.
half a day,
Better.
and then
But I was.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
that's
gonna
right.
do it,
That's I knew there was a thing. Okay, well, anyways, nobody could do it except for Colin and Steve and half of Mike. So we bailed out on that.
The best half.
The good half, definitely. And then what we did was just go wheeling at home all weekend, which was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun. Colin set it up. He did a really good job, per usual, because he's always the best route finder. He took us to places we knew, which is great and fun. And we did Edison Butte, which is a local off-road trail, which is, I always kind of give it a bad thing when we talk about it in our group of friends. It's really fun in the fall. It's really fun in the spring when there's snow. During the summer, it's pretty dusty and it's not that exciting usually, but man, we had a good time. Like maybe it's because I haven't been for a while, or maybe it was just because I remember the trail differently than I thought, but it was a really good time. Like it was challenging enough, but not so much that people were breaking things. And it took us a good amount of time, but not like all day. The problem with going out there in the snow is you're really going to be out there for the day because it's slow going and people are getting stuck. And there's
part of the night.
Crazy tree wells and crazy lava tubes. If for people that don't live here that have not been to this trail, one of its biggest things is the big tree wells and the lava tubes in the wintertime. But anyways, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Colin brought the Wagoneer, which was kind of the first time the Wagoneer has been out like really wheeling, especially since he's done a couple little upgrades.
I'd say McGrew was a good wheeling trip.
Oh yeah,
just because you weren't there, Sean, doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, everybody's been on this trip, basically.
It was a pretty good wheeling trip.
Yeah.
Well, other than that,
I think that it was a good time because we all had rigs that we were capable enough and willing enough to, like, everyone was just going to try every side route, every extra line that there was along there, because there's a lot of those where it's just kind of like, oh well, here's a little extra obstacle that you don't have to do but is fun if if you've got the capabilities or just the the gumption to give it a shot. And there was only three vehicles, so that's part of why it didn't take us very long. But even with trying every extra line, it still didn't take us very long because we all just kind of enjoyed that we were getting to put our stuff into weird situations and see if we could do it. I know I tried stuff that I haven't tried at all, and I know Tyson also did stuff that he has never tried out there too. So,
champ.
Yeah. Sweet redemption for Cher. It was the first time I did not DB. Which was
for extra information, Tyson has done this trail a handful of times. Tyson he always says he's the least experienced of all of us. He's just been on the least amount of trips. That doesn't really mean that he's the least experienced, but anyways, he has DB'd a tire every single time we've gone to Edison before this trip.
Yeah, so the first time I did not DB'd was also the first time I brought a full-size spare. Correlation?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, got to bring a full-size spare every time.
I love that trail because AAA goes out there.
Do they?
Oh yeah. Well, they'll come pick you up from that parking lot, the snow park.
I was going to say,
get back to the snow park.
Yeah, I've gotten picked up several times from the parking lot. The extra bit of, like Colin was saying, that you can just do little extra obstacles that I've never thought of before, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. The XJ just climbed right up everything, put a nice big new dent in the rocker because I don't have sliders, hammered that right out so the door closed.
Me neither.
Good to go. It was fun.
Yeah. It's amazing how those like extra lines, like you don't even think they exist until you've got the right setup where you point towards it and you go, you know what? I think I could go over that.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those off-roading things that happens all the time. I love and it's really a rock thing, I think, more than anything. Like I'm sure it happens kind of in the snow or the mud or whatever, but like in the rocks, it's always like that. Like it's the first time you clear like a 30-foot double on a BMX bike, and then you're like, I could do 35 for sure, and like you just keep going to the next.
Yeah, it's a huge confidence builder. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
And then
I'd
when
kiss
stuff
some
doesn't
rocks.
break, then you keep going.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Yeah,
Yeah,
both
well,
of you need sliders, by the way. If anything, just for not being able to open your door, but if anything, just being able to get over
pivot.
the rocks
Yeah.
better. Because
Yeah,
Pivot and
Tyson
slide
just
and not
stopped
care.
when he got on the rocker.
yeah, the rocker
Yeah.
is a lot more malleable. It just the rock gets sucked in, whereas slider would have been nice to just glide over.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. And to a lesser extent, this Jeep is willing to hit rocks, and I'm okay with that. But my kind of like armor will slide a little bit, but there are gaps in the little like door rocker armor, and they catch. And then you're like, well, shit.
It does take a lot to get there. That is one nice thing about the JK. It's very, very high up there.
Pretty high
So
slung,
high,
yeah.
yeah.
For reference, the XJ is on 35s, everyone else on 37s. So there was a significant difference in ride height. So I was catching a lot more.
You had the right wheel base though, and that
the shorter wheelbase is also a big help. Also,
watching you do some of those,
give a fuck what happens, so long as I
That
can
is
drive
very
out.
helpful.
Ain't care is a huge
man.
capability boost.
Yeah,
mine's already been totaled before, so
yeah.
can't
That
do
helps.
it again.
Total
Yeah.
Takes
helps.
You're not
Club.
There's no two brands. There's only one brand on the title, and it'll always be there. So let's try for more.
I
That's good.
totaled it when I put gas in it,
That tent's worth more than your.
and
No.
and the tent that's on top.
It was a good little run though. There wasn't a lot of drama on the Edison run. We just had a lot of fun. I drove the XJ for a minute, which was cool because surprise,
With
I
the
didn't bring
e-brake
my
on.
vehicle because it wasn't working. And I drove through an entire obstacle. Well, I think halfway through an obstacle with the e-brake on. And then when I killed it like twice in a row, I was like, man, I've never really off-roaded a manual, but it seems like I'm not doing well with this. Oh, wait, the e-brake's on. All right, that's better. And then I just cruised right through. So
Yeah.
it is
and
a
if you listen
dream.
to the McGrew trip podcast, you'll know that the e-brake is not that effective anyway, so it should not have affected Sean that much.
It might not have been the e-brake. It might have been totally unrelated. I just don't drive manuals that often anymore.
It rolled backwards almost into Toyota. So I think a slight hill overpowered the e-brake. You probably could have clutched through that, Sean.
Well, I was doing like minor clutch kicks to get over like that second little hill, and I thought, man, this doesn't seem like I should be doing this. I don't know, but it seems bad.
But you had a smile, and you know that's what share is all about.
It was smile inducing. That is the Lotus of off-road rigs.
Yeah,
The Lotus of off-road rig. Wow.
It's sporty and light.
2 doors.
It's maybe like a
maybe that's the
wrecked
only thing it's got in
old
common
Lotus.
is 2 doors.
But none of the other rigs have 2 doors, so like
Right.
you know, it's also definitely the lightest.
By a lot.
Yeah. The amount of paint that I've scraped off of it, absolutely.
And things you've cut off of it.
Yeah,
I'd
that
like
too,
to-
that too.
Whoever's going to end up going to the dunes this next trip, I'd really like for all of us to stop and weigh when we're full camp, like on the way, just to see what all of us are. 'Cause-
I will not be.
Is
full
this
camp
you
kit.
just bringing this up because
I
you're
am
driving
not
a
going
Jeep?
full camp kit.
No, I'm just interested. I know what my truck weighs, and I just haven't weighed this one yet.
Yeah, I'm not going full camp kit. That trip is the bare minimum. Like I bring basically nothing because it's just me. So no, I'll be running light.
Same, yeah. Yeah, I'm a tent caught in a cooler full of beer, and if Steve makes it, he can feed me, and if not, I'll just have PB&Js.
Steve won't be there. Steve's working.
Damn
He
it.
won't be there.
I'm gonna be hungry.
Damn it.
Yeah.
PB&Js,
He typically
all right.
had this is
All right.
typically the weekend that he ends up working all the time is Labor Day, which this is the weekend that he was talking about. He's going to have 24 hours of double time on the last pod.
Oh yeah.
So that he
I
can
get it.
make some more truck purchase stuff. So that's okay.
Why isn't Jesse coming?
Because it's Labor Day weekend and no one can usually take that time. That's a weird. This is a
does a
side
good job of
conversation
making-
that no one wants to hear at all that listens to this podcast. But I will agree with Jesse where Labor Day is tough for that because it's a great weekend to like do normal people stuff and not try to like bro out on a dunes camp trip, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. I love that.
Well,
From
from my
it's
understanding,
tricky. And I always,
he's got a trip with Anna's friends or something like that. It's something along those lines. But then also he picked up some extra job as well, so he's going to work that weekend.
got it. Well,
So
and
he wanted to.
also, I'm terrible at planning this every year for some reason. I always screw it up and think about it about 2 weeks out, and then it just becomes a whole thing. So I messed that up this year, which is something we're going to talk about in a minute. So we should not talk about it now.
Yeah, we've still got another trail
It went
to
on
talk
my calendar yesterday. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it went on
before
my
we
calendar yesterday, so I
Nice-
get you
nice
about
work.
the whole too far out. But I got it. It's on there.
Good
and
job.
I might have Thursday afternoon
We're
off now
adulting.
again.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
adulting. I can't. I'm not confident enough that. Oh God, I don't. We'll get into it in a minute. Before we go there, the next piece of this conversation that's going to be more exciting, less exciting, same exciting. I really don't know. Is that our
There's
second
a bit
day
of
of
a
wheeling
twist.
weekend? Which by the way, there will be. I am pretty sure some decent YouTube and Instagram content from because we shot a lot of footage. And it should look like maybe some cool stuff. I hope. I did a decent amount, and I was really not sure if it turned out good or bad. So good. And so yeah, we went for day 2. Mike went to go drive supercars, but really just kind of American muscle.
It's American Muscle package, and they don't claim that they're supercars.
Oh, that's good.
So,
That's good.
To,
Okay.
the credit for the business there. And to jump in on this story, I left and then had to come back and leave again because
Why?
my truck decided wheel bearings are for bitches.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
so
Can
the
confirm.
driver's side let go. And I'm going to give this one to Tyson. So Tyson, do you remember where I got my wheel bearings redone before I
That mechanic no
Remember?
longer works there, actually. So it turns out that
I feel like it wasn't anything to do with me.
No, yeah, well, I'm gonna repossess that axle. That's all I'm saying. Is I got a
Yep.
repo license. No, but I would love it if you don't mind that I get to. My truck's too big to fit in any of my garage or my dad's garage or like
That's
my
what she
friends'
said.
garages. So someday, if I could come borrow some space. So it just loosened up. I think it's probably all okay, but you can feel it. It shakes and it moves on the wheel bearing. But I didn't notice until I got going, aired the tires back up from the last camp trip we took the truck on. I aired everything up to 60 PSI. And once I got going from Bend almost to Redmond, I was like, I feel it. It's bad. There's something wrong. I went into the AutoZone in Redmond. I bought a little jack because I wanted to keep one in the truck anyway. So I bought
Just a
a
little
bottle
guy.
jack, jacked that side up, and just everything shook all the fuck over the place. And I was like, great. I'm on my way to Portland. This is going to be bad. So I chose to abandon that. We took the camper back. We didn't camp out there. We went to Haley's parents' house in Beaverton, which turned out great. It worked out really well. because they live like 15 minutes from the track. It wasn't that big a deal. But it was an hour of, like, we got back super late. I was going to leave at noon. Instead, we left at 4 from the house, and then I had to drive to Redmond and back. And so then now it's 5:30 after checking everything, and then it's 6 o'clock when we get out of here in Haley's car to drive over the pass. And I'm just like, wow, all this time just left. Yeah, so I got to get the wheel bearing figured out on the front of that truck. Something else might also be loose. The caliper feels like it's loose on the actual like caliper bolts, like they were not tight all the way. But I haven't ruled out that the wheel bearing isn't also part of that movement. I had the tire on still. I can hear it rattle when I move the rest of it. So some stuff is loose in some places, and a guy isn't here anymore, and he's not dead, but he moved on. And
He's
that's
no
my story
longer
of my
with
truck.
us.
So I gave up.
He's
no
no
longer
longer,
with
with us. He's still alive, but
Yeah.
he's no longer with us.
He's just not with
I
us.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know this person, but it could just be a failed part. It doesn't necessarily mean it's his problem,
He just
but
had
it
to
could be
repack
his
the bearing.
problem.
Yeah, he just repacked him with grease. Also, he did tell me when I stopped in, to his credit, that this is his first time, and he was really excited because he got to try out packing wheel bearing. So
Things you never say as a mechanic.
right when you're doing it for trade, it's fair.
And
Yeah.
and bless his soul if he ever listens to this podcast.
Oh yeah,
Another
I'll
hint
give him a hug.
is he was a chef before a mechanic.
yeah. Oh, I would give him a hug and hold him close as I tell him about how he almost killed me and my family.
Oh my God.
But
0 to
Fine.
10, 0 to 11, just like
it
that.
wasn't that bad. But it was too much to drive over the pass with. So I drove it home from the auto parts store. It was fine.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Well,
But then I tag teamed the Jeep off though, and I got to go watch all these videos of my Jeep doing cool stuff and Tyson saying sorry.
Yeah.
It was
Sorry, Mike.
just-
when
Sorry,
you
Mike.
watch the footage, I said sorry a few times too. Definitely in full vlog status. I'm sorry, Mike.
The
You
most
did hit the shock mounts on the axle, both sides. I never saw any damage, and you could see they're like fresh and nice. So, but it's not bad. It didn't break anything. But that's I was like, oh, he did touch some stuff, but I don't think he did any other damage to this that I wouldn't have done.
To catch everybody up to speed, day 2, we went to Cline. If you tuned out for a little bit during the story, we went to Cline
So
Butte.
there I was.
I tuned out.
And
I
Mike-
tuned out too.
Mike couldn't make it because he had prior engagements. And so I took his JK, which was really nice of him to let me do. And then Tyson, of course, same rig. Colin, same rig as the day before, which was super fun. And apparently I ruined his shocks.
No, the shocks are fine. Shock mounts are fine.
No,
They've
shock
just been
mounts,
kissed.
shock mounts.
They've just been kissed a little. I'll reinforce them because I wanted to anyway. But you didn't damage them.
We're lucky that I
Just
didn't
in
almost
case
flop it into a
Sean
tree
tries
just
it
like
again.
Tyson.
You know what? You probably could have, and it would have been fine too.
Actually, the only thing that I was really worried about was one obstacle where I got really into the, I got into bigger rocks and I thought, oh God, I'm going to like ruin this whole no slider situation. But more than that was the times that Colin and Tyson would both say, watch out for the soft top when I was
Watch that soft top.
going through the trees, because I'm not used to that at all. Like there's no
Yeah,
part of me
I
that's
had-
used to not having a hard top.
I had no.
I have a yard
really
of soft top
even-
repair. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no thought about a soft top like being a vulnerable thing until I saw Sean backing up and there's some branches there and I'm like, what might happen? And then getting on the radio and maybe you should watch out for that.
Oh,
So
nothing
don't worry
bad
about
happened.
this one. No, and also don't worry about it. This was a Mopar soft top that I got for like $100 from somebody else's takeoff thing.
Yeah, that
And,
Mopar stuff is
it had-
garbage. So yeah, no big deal.
It had 2 holes in it when I got it. I already patched it twice, and I have an extra yard. I have a yard of patch. So as long as you don't damage the frame in such a way that I can't bend
So
it back,
Just a
I'll be
yard,
fine.
a square yard, a cubic
Just 1 yard, yeah, square yard.
So,
it's a fabric
3 feet
measurement.
by 3 feet.
It's a fabric measurement. Yeah.
It's almost a meter for our listeners across the pond.
That's right. So, Mike, I gotta say, good job on the patch, because I ran that thing through a car wash, and I realized as they're spraying it, I went,
Oh no!
"Is this gonna be okay? Is this gonna be?
Right above
You know
the
what? It's
driver's
fine."
head.
Oh, I know.
The patch
I looked
is
up.
right above the driver's head.
I looked up. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I fixed the front windshield mounts too, because when I was coming back from Friday before we did the Saturday wheeling, Miles and I went out and we did a wheeling, father-son trip where basically we just went out to cool spots and picked up trash. I was at street pressures the whole time. It was not a heck of a trip, but it was really fun to go with him and pick up a bunch of trash. And coming down some of those gravel roads, I noticed that the windshield was shaking, and there were gaps that would show up in the soft top to windshield connection on occasion where like sunlight would come through. And I said, oh, that's not right. And so I put a bunch of bolts in there and I fixed it all up quite a bit before you took it out. It used to leak. It used to spray a ton of water in when you go through a car wash. So I'm glad it worked out for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
It
it did amazing too.
I want to point out to all the listeners that Sean is a great person to let borrow your car, because my tires were aired up to street pressure. It had been washed. The gas tank was full. I think it smelled nicer in there, but it might have just been Sean.
Yeah, probably.
No,
I did wipe down the inside a little bit.
I can also
10 out of
second
10.
that Sean is a great person to loan cars to. A Cressida on slicks in wintertime did not get a single dent or scratch.
No,
Yeah.
I only ran it into one snowbank, and I got myself out. It was fine.
It was perfect. I mean, truly.
Thank God for
John's
welded
car
diffs.
rental rating is
Yeah,
just
fantastic driver.
skyrocketing.
Fantastic driver.
It was a good trip, though. The JK is really good. People buy them for a reason. I still think they're uncomfortable and awkward and don't look very good, but that's fine. That's personal opinion.
All true things.
That's great. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But man, 4-to-1 low range and an automatic and 37s, not bad. Not bad. I basically didn't touch the throttle in anything small because I had the AC on and it would idle up and it would just drive through things while it was idled up. And then I'd have to hit the brake when Tyson would stop or whatever. And like that was it. And then in the big obstacles, it just did great. It basically, I was telling Colin and Tyson both that like, I don't think it doesn't feel that much more capable maybe than the Land Cruiser as far as like traction and like going goes, but it's easily as capable and it has a lot less body going on. So anything that's tight, it just doesn't really matter. You just kind of point it and go. And the Land Cruiser's that way until you run into a corner or, you know, a rocker or a door or a window or whatever else is in the way. So it was really cool. Like I really like driving it. I'm not like a convert. I'm not getting one, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty cool. Also, and Colin probably would tell this story better than me, but we went to like our favorite little play area on Trail 34 at Cline Butte, which is fun. Trail 34 for listeners is like a moderately difficult trail. It's not crazy, but it has really good lines if you want to take them. The main section is pretty good and it has aggressive things if you want to get out there and do it. So there's like a play area section and then
do it.
Okay, except for that. Yeah. There's in the middle, wait a second. In the middle, there's like a play area section that we all have basically used to test rigs. Like Mike, this might be what he's getting at. Mike took his brand new JL out there and the JL Rubicon and ran it through like some of the like moderately hardcore things that we go through, like I go through with the 80, Luke goes through with his JK, which, you know, RIP his JK, he's got the Gladiator now, but like his old JK was fairly built up, so like we would go through those things and they're like challenging for those rigs, and Mike just comes up and does it in the stock JL with tires. Basically, that's it.
No,
but
they're
anyways,
stock tires.
I thought you put like Wild Peaks on it or something.
They came with it from the factory.
Well, anyways, stock
Fix
Jeep,
goes too,
everybody.
Yeah. God damn it.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, I was going to say stock dicks go too. Our friend group kind of uses that as a, I don't know, like a little benchmark. If you can do 34, you can go out and do certain other trails, and like we know that close by easy trail is doable. And I think only like Sean and Luke have ever broken on it, and they were doing the most hard. No, you popped a tire.
I just popped a tire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke definitely has
Luke
broken
broke
out there many times, but so has Colin. Not this Colin,
Yeah.
other Colin.
Not me. You've also blown a coolant line out there, though.
Oh yeah, I blew my heater control valve,
Well,
which
and
was not great.
Love that one.
I broke a Ford 8.8 fiberglass
Diff cover.
Diff cover. Yeah.
Yeah,
Diff cover, yeah.
that
on
sucked.
the
Yeah,
gatekeeper.
we just went and got another one. It reinstalled
Fiberglass
it. We were
yeah.
fine.
diff cover.
First obstacle.
Jesus.
Yep.
That was bad.
It was spray painted black. It looked metal, and all the other ones I'd ever seen were metal. And the guy never said anything about it, and I just was like, "Yeah, let's go." And it was bad.
Well, so
What was
what I was
weight
getting at.
reduction on that?
Yeah, no kidding. It was not much, I'm sure. What I was getting at there is we went to this one, the one obstacle, the one thing that's in the play area in the middle, and Tyson went first. And man, short wheelbase, tent on top. I don't know. But
I was so excited.
Oh my
I
God.
was so pumped up after Edison that I was ready to go up just a sheer 90-degree cliff. I wanted to drive up something. So yeah, I saw the big lines that like buggies go up, and everything had been dug out. And yeah, I tried it a few times, tried it different angles, and the first time I almost pooped my pants. Sorry, poop
And,
talk again, but yeah, I almost pooped my pants.
My video
wait to see the
includes
video.
a nervous laugh. Yeah. Colin, if you could drop that in here, that would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Is
I
Oh,
started
yeah.
just giggling, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm laughing at Tyson's misfortune here, and not like in the normal funny way. Like he almost rolled that thing."
Yeah,
John,
it was
since
almost
I wasn't
rolling.
there-
It was. I have almost rolled that Jeep numerous times, but that felt
That
like
was-
the most almost rolling.
That was the most almost for sure.
so,
But it
since I
wouldn't have
wasn't there,
rolled.
Sean, is this the line that I'm thinking of, which is where I almost rolled the Waggy
No,
with
No,
John Hahn?
it's in that same.
No, okay.
It's in that
Different.
same area, but it's not that line. Yeah,
Same player. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, I had
it's
the Wagoneer. I broke the glass out of it, and I almost rolled
Yeah.
it, and it was a great
it's
weekend.
the classic
put-
line that like
Yeah,
you said,
come wheeling
you took
with us.
the
That was a great
the
weekend.
JL up, and Colin took the first Tacoma up, and somehow freaking Dave got his XJ up it as well. But it's that one that's right next to the
Yeah.
first part of it is right next to that tree, and you've got to contend with that tree root. Well, now there's like a 37-inch tire size hole right next to the root, so it makes it even harder. And so that's what Tyson was falling into. So it would lift, but I don't think it ever would have fully rolled it because it was right up against the tree. So if
There was a
anything, it would have just like
tree.
set it up against the tree,
Yeah.
and then. So technically, you
Right.
probably couldn't have rolled it over unless you really went crazy on the throttle after it was
No,
in
I
the
just
tree.
would've-
But
I still would have damaged the tent and the roof, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
might as
and
well
that's the
have
most
rolled it.
expensive part of your car.
Yeah,
By far.
exactly.
yeah, it was. That was fun. I got to see the
That was
entire underside of your Jeep twice,
yeah,
so that was good. And then Colin did it, and he got pretty close actually. But it just didn't work out. I don't know.
I
It
think
was
it's
I don't know if it's
More
line
front
or what.
Front traction.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think it's this the length of my Jeep and not having the front locker. I mean, maybe if I had tried a slightly different line, like gave it, a couple more stabs, but it's that one of those, you get into one of those situations where it's like one more, no more, as the Aussies like to say, and I didn't feel like doing no more because we were only halfway down the trail, so
Yeah.
I opted to finish the trail rather than continue to try that and see if I break or do, actually do that line. So maybe next time we go out, I'll give it another go. I think that it's probably capable of it even without more traction adder. But yeah, at the time it just wasn't going, and I wasn't willing to push it any further at that point. So is what it is.
You're
I still have never
for the
done
weekend,
that line.
not for the obstacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that is part of it too. Like I came in the JK and I went through it, right? But like I've also gone up it 10 other times. So I pointed it right at the line that I know that the Land Cruiser will do. I had the lockers on and I just drove up it because
no drama.
JK made it
combo
look so easy. Colin and I
combo
just
of
sitting there
all the
looking
things.
like fucking assholes.
Yeah.
The only thing that happened was I got to the top and I went to undo the front locker so I could turn, which is the thing that I always do. And man, those buttons, you're not kidding. I don't even know what they do. I spent all day with that thing. I have no idea. I just mash it until it said front and rear when I needed it, and then mash it again until they both turned off.
I've had this thing
That's
for
it.
months. I have no idea.
I'm
I don't
sure
know what's happening.
Luke will be screaming at us while he's listening to this.
Well,
Just like,
you push one up and then push to
idiots.
the two of them, and you push the two down, and then that goes to the three, and now you got a center. And
It's up,
I don't
down,
know.
up, down,
Ziploc,
left,
just like
right,
a
left,
Land
right,
Cruiser.
A, B, start, select.
So stop. Yep.
D1 star.
And so that was the most exciting thing probably. We went on from there and did a bunch of other just little stuff, and it was cool. I had a lot of fun. There's some good video, I think, that'll be fun to watch, and otherwise it was a good time. And we need to do more of it, and we say that every time we go there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it is one of those things, though, that I always think about. The reason that I don't want to go a lot of time is that it can be pretty like rough on your daily driver. It's aggressive rock, so it like scratches everything. It chunks up tires. Like, it's not even that I'm super worried about breaking stuff as much as I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to like rip off a shock mount or all those little things that just come from dragging over lava rock every day. I think that's
Damaging tires. Yeah.
that's a big difference between like wheeling here in Central Oregon and going other places, right? You go to Moab or you go to like Rubicon, you get a lot of that slick rock, like big smooth rocks, which are aggressive and hard to deal with, but like they're not just chunking everything out, and you're not getting into that scenario where it just grabs all of the things. So I don't know. I'm sure they have their own complaints with those things too, but I think that that's the thing that gets me hung up a lot of times.
I want this crew. I want all of us to go out and do that Horse Butte line, because I tried it at street pressure and I got halfway up, and both Miles and I were like, "Nah, I don't feel good about all of this," because I didn't have a spotter. I didn't know where to put my tires. There's a bunch of dirt in it, but I think the whole crew here could get up that with one more person like helping align things. But it would be really interesting to see, like Tyson on 35s. I did it on 35s in the TJ, but I had a front locker, and but I think he could do it because his wheelbase is good and he's got
Body
just
damage.
a dash of bucket.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Colin could do it because his wheelbase is good and his tire size is right, and like
And power.
feel like all of it, and power.
Sweet
All of
power.
us could do that. But it's kind of a good litmus test, and I want to try. I would like to take this up the left side that has all the rocks and stuff, but I won't do it without a spotter. Like I need somebody there to help.
Yeah, I'd like to be
don't
there to
even
and
see
somebody
you
to hook up
drive
to
that
the
try
top.
the
thing.
left side.
That fucking JK does everything without issue.
Hey, you don't need a spotter in a JK. You just point it and go.
That thing is nuts.
As far as I'm concerned, you press the buttons like
I
this,
feel like
and you
feel
go.
like I would need, and I don't know what lockers on, but I got some of them.
There's so many lights on. It's
I
fine.
need somebody at the top I can hook a winch to in case it gets weird, so I don't just choose to break it.
Oh,
to
it's
get
gonna
up.
get weird.
But I would like to try that. Yeah, it's gonna get
I
weird.
want I want that line too, by the way. I'm with Mike there. I want it.
It looks cool.
Bad. Every time we go out there, I want to do it. And I've approached it like twice, and then I'm like, it's usually just Mike and I, and I'm like, this seems like a bad idea. And sometimes it's like wet or it's snowy, and it's like, man, it just seems like I could do it.
I think the only things I've seen do it were
4-day weekend,
old Dave's truck back in the day, and then Ozzy's Volvo 6x6.
Yeah, because it's touching all the rocks all the time.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's 18 tons, and it's beautiful Swedish engineering.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, do you think we should get Aaron in here?
Nah, let him wait.
Yeah, we can pull. Well, we need some. What we need is some. To bring our average age up a little bit. Kind of get us. A little bit of that. Age,
maturity,
wisdom, maturity. Yes, into the.
Do we know if this
pod.
is this? Are we getting first night, Aaron?
No, God, no. What is Friday?
Depends on what night. Depends on what night you guys come out. That's the. You might miss first night, Aaron, because you don't show up on the right night.
Oh, is he coming out early with you?
Potentially, yeah.
Who knows?
You're gonna have to find out. Yeah, you better get
Maybe
there
you'll
early.
find out here in a couple minutes.
I'm gonna quit my job. I guess I'll quit my job. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm self-employed. Damn it.
Yeah. Is your boss gonna be cool with that?
They won't let me go.
It's a temporary leave. That's what
Nobody wants to work anymore.
It's a temporary leave.
Neither do I.
Yeah, it turns out neither do I. What a fucking concept.
I think that
work sucks.
I have one job scheduled for Thursday afternoon, and I think I can move it to the morning. And if I can do that, I can have Thursday afternoon off. So I'll be done working by noon, and I can head out with you early. If not,
but I thought you were going to cover my shift Thursday afternoon, so
so that Tyson could go. Yeah.
Tyson, you bet. You see how that place is run when someone who is charismatic but with no confidence in their actual skills just goes for it,
Yeah.
I guess 100% confidence with no actual skills.
No,
that's what I meant.
We're doing wheel bearings that afternoon, so it should work out fine.
Turns out, it's an OBS that needs wheel bearings. Yeah.
I'll bring my own truck in there and I'll work on it and guess. Oh man, we didn't get to the other ones. Sorry, man.
Well, good luck. Slap on the back.
Yeah.
Happy trails.
I don't know. I drove it around the block. It seemed fine.
Why is Aaron not here? What did I miss?
We just talked shit about you the whole time.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
My cat came in here, so that was good. She almost became part of the podcast.
Again.
While Sean's back here and we're getting Aaron in, Sean, talk to us about your beautiful, wonderful monster truck with a can that sounds like it's just blah, 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 blah. It sounded so cool in the video.
Yeah.
God.
For some reason, once it gets warm, it doesn't love to idle yet. And I haven't done anything for this, and it's obviously because I have no oxygen sensors hooked up. And so once it goes, closed loop instead of open loop, or open instead of closed, whichever, I always get those mixed up, it's not happy. But I drove it around the block. It was awesome.
That's cool.
I was really excited. It puked out trans fluid from the trans cooler lines, which means that it's pumping. So yeah,
better than it was.
And
I have some really good hose clamps if you need to borrow them, because I thought you were
gonna say you had some Lucas stop leak.
Oh, you can borrow that too. I have that. I do have that here.
How are you not sponsored yet, Mike?
I don't know.
secretrsvp@gmail.com.
Right. Come on.
Lucas
I'll
run your shit. I'll put stickers. I don't care.
He pays full price. Don't give him stickers.
Yeah. Every time. You can give me stickers, I'll still pay for the product.
Yeah.
I just want the stickers. And maybe a hat. I don't know. Are you going to come over, Sean, and get some temporary egg sauce done, or you got an early enough appointment next week?
Yeah, I got an appointment on Wednesday, and honestly, I don't want to deal with it. I was going to look, so I looked through all my parts to see if I could make it work with what I've got, but I have 3-bolt flanges from my stock exhaust, and my headers or my exhaust manifolds have 2-bolt flanges, and I don't want to deal with it. It's too much. Like, it's not worth trying to hack something up to have them hack it apart to redo an exhaust in 3 days.
2 days later.
5 days from now, but yeah, exactly. So
2 days after you get
I basically have just gone to irritating my neighbors 3 or 4 times a day, starting it up to like check the leak or check my tack converter or all the things that I'm kind of working through.
It sounds so cool, even on video, that I bet none of them are irritated.
Have you ever met my neighbors?
Yeah.
And most of them are gone.
Yeah. No,
Most of them
they've
just-
all said it's totally
Yeah.
fine, and they want you to do it at 1 a.m.
Yeah. I live in a lot of there's a lot of old people in my
And
neighborhood
Ring cameras.
and ring cameras for sure.
Well, they're up at 5
yeah.
anyway. So, you know,
Well,
that's
yeah.
only early in the morning.
Yeah.
Should be up making
Start
breakfast or
early.
something.
Woo woo. Yeah, that was
That was
Last
all
night-
for you old people.
yeah. Last night seemed a little too late to be driving it around the neighborhood. There were like children scattering and garage doors closing as I drove by. But it was fine.
Children are awake, you're not too late.
That's a
Put
good
your
point,
kids to bed.
actually.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. It wasn't
If
late. It was
they're-
7:30 or something, 7:45, so it wasn't bad.
Dark.
But it is
After
so
dark.
so loud.
Oh.
It is so loud. I know that it's loud. I knew it was going to be loud, but it's loud. And every time I start it up, I'm like, "Oh God, jeez, wow, this is too much." So
Did you ever ride in the TJ before the exhaust was done?
no, but I
Did I
did.
take you?
I was in it, or I was with it starting. I filmed the startup and everything. So, but
Yeah.
and it was loud, and I think it was the same. There's no chance that it's that much different. But good
Oh, I had a
lord,
soft
mine's
top.
loud. Yeah, good point.
That-
Well,
when I
I have a
drove
bunch
it
of
to,
holes in my tunnel right now, so that's helpful.
That-
Well,
That's
also
fair.
outside the car.
Yeah, when I drove it to get the
soft top
exhaust
doesn't make
done-
any difference.
Good
no,
point.
when I drove it to get the exhaust done, and I was on the what was it, 9th Street on my way towards VR, I hit the gas and like you could see windows shaking. I was like, oh no, I am not doing this right. People were just staring. I know exactly what you're feeling like. It's really cool for like a minute, and you're like, I'm a menace. I have a menace
Yeah.
to society, and I'm sorry. And you're just like, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah.
I had to make
get it.
the
Power
joke when I
corrupts. Power
came back.
corrupts.
Lauren took some video, and then I was like, "Man, how'd you know I was coming?" And all I could think of was, "There's no chance you didn't hear me the entire time. I went 4 blocks away, and I couldn't touch the throttle more than like an eighth of an inch. It was pretty crazy."
Put some earphones in and see what it feels like at full throttle. I'm really interested.
I need to because I'm a little concerned about new engine ring seating,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to like keep it under like a half an hour, 40 minutes of total runtime before I rip into it. And I'm hoping I can get exhaust and O2 sensors in before I go full throttle, just because it seems like it would be a lot easier to deal with, but who knows?
Wow.
So that part aside,
While Aaron is figuring his stuff out, one of the things I wanted to bring up was something that I think Sean brought up, the Rivian doing the Rubicon. And while the article is likely full of some glossing over of any sort of hardships because we're trying to sell
Of course.
a new EV, I totally understand. It got me kind of excited for like EV four-wheeling. And I think a lot of it is due to me going with the XJ platform and starting from bone stock tire size, stock everything. As mentioned in previous podcasts, I've gone through several cross members because that's a low part of the truck that gets smashed in, and then you lose your four-wheel drive linkage range. You have to do things. Yeah, you just, it complicates things. So thinking about a 4-wheel drive being 4 separate motors, you have no drive lines anymore. You have no center, like, weak points.
You can active torque vector.
Yeah, there's so many benefits to
And a smooth belly pan.
Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing hanging down. There's no differential in between your
You
front
put that
or
cutting
rear
board
wheels.
plastic on there, you slide over anything.
Sure.
Low tech for high tech.
So I'm just
Tilt it up a
excited
little
to
bit,
see,
you know?
like, I can't wait for the era, and I know it's coming soon, where 4-wheel, like, rednecks, ding-dongs like us can get into the 4-wheel electric motor chassis and make it better. Because right now it's tech nerds. Tech nerds going, well, it can totally do this because the numbers are just like this other 4-wheel drive vehicle. And like it said in several articles, the 2 Rivian trucks were replaced with a Wrangler as a support vehicle.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
It's not quite
for that.
there.
So I'm curious if anyone else had any other insight.
Well,
Yes.
I think
I think it's really cool that they made it. I think that they're going to start waxing the bottom like those kids skateboarding and do it so they can get over rocks.
Got your,
These
Miles,
kids.
wants to
your
say hi
surfboard wax,
real quick.
bro.
Miles, say hi to everybody. And now he's going to bed. I love you. Go sleep.
Also, Tyson, if you go back and listen to episode 10 when it releases, we go over the Rivian
Okay.
on the Rubicon in depth. So
I can't wait
Yeah,
to
we did.
listen to it. And I'm sorry I wasn't there, but hopefully I'm not touching too much on it.
Well,
you can-
while
you
we're
can touch
on
it
the
all you
subject,
want.
because I think it's interesting. I'm going to gloss right over that. I'm going to gloss right over that statement. the conversion stuff that I've seen, and there's not a ton of it, but the conversion stuff that I've seen in the off-road space is pretty interesting. There's a guy with an 80 series that did a Leaf powertrain, a Nissan Leaf powertrain, through a Northwest Fab black box planetary gearbox. So he's got some, I forget what the crawl ratio is, but some outrageous crawl ratio. It's got like 60 miles ish of range off-road, which is, pretty good when you think about it. Like,
No, that's
I
bonkers.
burn
considering
a quarter tank of gas in like no time. So
yeah, the Rivian went from 80 to 10
yeah,
in the
over
12
like
miles.
30. Yeah. I think they say 12 miles, but I think the actual like trail that you would run from Loon Lake out is probably closer to 20, 25, but the
no.
like actual wheeling is probably 12.
no,
it's not?
It said it was 12.
It's from Loon to the end of the trail is 12, but they're not going to be able to charge at Loon. So they're counting from the charge station to Loon and then the
Got
trail. So it's another,
Got it.
10 or so miles from outside of Loon Lake.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, it's cool. I mean, I'm excited to see it. It's, it's not an infinite torque number, but it's so much torque from such a low RPM range that like
0.
it's completely different. It just doesn't, it doesn't even calculate the same. So when you think about like what I was explaining about Mike's rig and how well that thing did the off throttle, go or barely go, the crawl, that is an electronic drive or an electric drivetrain's like strong point. It's such a good piece for it. So once it's even geared down more than what it would be, just through axle ratios, like that's pretty awesome. It's a shame to me, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds on this because I think we're lucky that we only have tens of listeners when I say this, but it's a shame to me that the off-road industry is really hung up in the not by and large, but somehow a lot of people are hung up in the implication of what electric means politically or opinion wise. And that is not something I ever want to discuss on here. And it's not something we have to get into, but the actual performance data is really interesting. It's not like it's the end all be all. It's really interesting. It's interesting to me, just like 1,000 horsepower, 392 swapped JK is. Like, that's really interesting. But so is a Leaf powertrain, Land Cruiser. And I don't understand why that has to be this like masculine, non-masculine thing or whatever situation it is that makes it not cool. But it's cool. Like, I think that it's awesome.
I think it's because we talk about a lot of, like, we've come up with horsepower. Horsepower is a big thing that we talk about when electric motors are going to be referred to in torques,
yeah,
if you will. And torques is what you feel, and horsepower is a measurement of torques. So if we can eliminate the horsepowers from the equation and we can just compare torques to torques, then once we get the range bullshit figured out, which is the biggest downside, I think, of EV stuff right now, and also the infrastructure, because you can't just go to...
I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah, you can't... There's not 3 different EV charging stations on a city block. There's 3 or more gas stations, and you can get your fucking 6-pack of Busch and a Twix. You can't do that at a Tesla quick charger. So maybe add some vending machines. Japan has it figured out. It's like 1 vending machine for 30 people in Japan. Why not here? So
yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Well, in that case, we had this amazing, super special guest, Aaron, that was going to come on here and talk to us about the next camp trip that we're doing, which is not that big, so we're not really going to dedicate an entire podcast to it. We're going to the dunes, the Oregon dunes. It's going to be fun. It is actually for our dorky fantasy football draft, but it's a lot of fun. And we go to a sweet dirt track race, and we get real redneck for like 2 days, usually, at least, sometimes 3 to 4. Colin will be there for like a long time. I can't promise that I'm even going to make it. And Mike is quickly filling his schedule up to the point that he might also not make it, but he probably will. That was pretty much it, though. That was the teaser. I think what we should do, though, is probably make that. I'm sure that hilarity will ensue. There will be some video footage, and we should make an episode of that. And I think that's a good plan to make this podcast not a 2.5 hour long one. While we also do that.
Well, don't worry, there'll be a lot to cut out.
Oh God, no kidding.
But also,
as per always,
I will say I did find a little hidden gem that I could lead you guys all to while there. I don't think I'm gonna divulge any of it, other than it is tide dependent.